particularly to the protein synthesis. Already discussed a while ago, the biological health science regarding the cell biology, a little bit of physiology, anatomy, and epidemiology. Though it's not really that comprehensive, because as I told you, I'm not really a biologist to some parts of it, and I can intensify only through, the chemical and biochemical substances, chemical reaction, and you know what I mean, okay? Like that. Okay. To cut the story short, okay, I'm so very talkative now. Okay, now look at the whiteboard. Okay, again. Okay, any questions so far for this interactive platform of discussion, virtual, okay, through live really live session ngayon. Okay, we have protein synthesis. Okay, so first we need to have this statement: belong is the building blocks of life. Our answer will be protein. And also you can say that also blank is the building blocks of protein. Our answers also are amino acids. Again, if the question in the future examination will say blank is the building block of life. Okay, just like a hollow blocks in our home. If our home and houses are made of concrete or bricks, something like that. Building blocks of life. Building blocks of life is the answer protein. Okay? So it's a hollow block. So just imagine if we don't hollow block in our body the same as the house, can we stand and endure for a longer period of time if calamities will strike in our localities or in our places? No, it's not, especially typhoon and earthquake. It's just like that also in our body. But the equivalent for that are the bad microorganisms and whatever. I cannot mention because sometimes, guys, I have a limited, what do you call this one? Prophet, because they said avoid to mention, like just now, they stated in the notification, avoid mentioning letter V. Okay, letter V and and letter C in the pandemic, something like that. I just forgot. It's restricted. Okay, by the YT administrator. I keep on talking that a while ago in my cell biology discussion, right? Oh my gosh. It's not allowed to mention palav. I know that already, but I forgot. Okay. Okay. The building blocks of life is protein. Okay. Number two, the building blocks of protein is amino acid. Okay. Guys, there are two types of amino acids, the essential amino acids and the non-essential amino acids. The essential amino acids really, guys, is through the natural reaction synthesis inside our body that can produce in the physiological reactions of different biochemical reactions in our body. Like that, we can obtain the essential amino acids. But for the non-essential, we can take that in buying to the store or market, such as the food supplements, vitamins, or whatever, because most of those products or medicinal products or pharmaceutical products are enriched with amino acid because it will never become a protein if there will be no an amino acids combination and ingredients of that particular supplements or whatever you're going to take in your body. Okay, something like that. Okay, so number three, guys, we need to define what a protein really is. Anybody? But before that, we need to identify what is the specific general formula. Okay, go back to organic chemistry, something like that. Okay, I was very, very blessed that my grade in organic chemistry is above average. My gosh. Okay, like that. And also my chemistry lecture, because I love chemistry that much. That's why. Okay, so it's gonna be like that. So protein. Okay, so the general formula of protein is just gonna be like this. I'm talking for the functional group general formula. Capital R, capital C, capital H, NH2COOH. Wow, bongga. So RCH in H2CH. Do you see the blackboard? Sorry, whiteboard, guys. You can see that. Okay. RCHNH2COOH. The amino base in this particular general formula is in here. NH2 base, this NH2 or amino group, because most of the amino acids from the term itself, amine, composed of nitrogen atoms and hydrogen atoms, something like that, NH2. That's why amino acid something. So it's very clear and transparent in our general formula, okay? Now, our capital R will be the alkyl group composed of carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms chain. Okay, carbon atoms plus hydrogen atoms exclusively without any mixture of any elements, particularly oxygen will try to confuse us sometimes because oxygen atoms are very, very active. So it will react this, there, and that like that. We are overloaded with oxygen instead of body because most of the macromolecules contains oxygen with it. Could be the sugar, the protein, with us, whatever, chuba. Okay, now we have this. So in this R, alkyl, and you can connect the amino acids here, and this is the carboxylic acid group. When I mean, guys, carboxylic acid group is specifically dealing with organic acids. We are not talking about the inorganic acids, right? Which are sulfuric acid, phosphoric acid, permanganic acid, manganic acid, or whatever, sulfuric, phosphoric, blah, 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 so on. So we are dealing with a lot of carboxylic acids here, such as the unsaturated fatty acids, unsaturated fatty acids. For example, stearic acid, palmitic acid, linoleic acid, oleic acid, like that. Butyric acid, malic acid, propanic acid, like that. And it's very, very also appropriate or very, very good to know that specific formula, especially if you're taking BS chemistry and also BS chemical engineering, and you have to be clever and smart enough to determine the organic compound, because sometimes in stoichiometry, we need to solve the amounts of those elements involved in the chemical reaction. Could either be an organic chemical reaction or an inorganic chemical reaction. You should troubleshoot what's going to be the product, what's going to be the raw materials, the conversion of the raw materials to convert into the useful product, something like that. Okay, and now going back to the protein. What is really protein, guys? Okay, give you at least two definitions or one definition. It could be okay also. It depends on you. So we need to troubleshoot our own definition. We will not depend on the books. As much as we should not be bookish. We should have our own interpretation of what really protein really is. As I said a while ago, the building blocks of life. Oh my gosh. Really? Ganon. So, protein is composed of, it's very clear in the general formula, composed of amino acids, take note, arranged and oriented in a particular manner and in particular order. See, specific orientation. It will not overlap of one over the other like that. It should be specific, really arranged in a detailed, specified manner. Something like that, orderly manner, or particular order, in a particular order, something like that. So linkage, a group or a combination of amino acids. That's the one technical definition of amino acid, of protein, protein. Okay, so combination, English naman, combination, group, link, like that, chuba-chuchu, okay, of amino acids. Okay, arrange, or shall we say, systematized, okay, in a particular order. Okay, order means manner, or let us say fashion. Okay, in synonymous in English language, English grammar, vocabulary. Okay, we have this one, protein. Now another definition of this is this one, right? Bingo. Okay, something like that. Okay, so if you forgot the definition, then take note of the general formula. You can understand that here. Okay, in the formula, if you forgot. If your memorization failed or your memory failed because it was a long time ago, for example, if you're studying your base chemical engineering course that was 20 to 25 years ago, then you have to take note of the clue and the hint so that you can easily memorize or detect what is really a protein all about, something like that. And troubleshoot the general formula, the constituents and the components of the particular general formula of a protein. Ganon. So that is protein. Now, we can easily compute, we can say troubleshoot or whatever amounts we are needed in our body. Okay, ganon. Like that. Okay, why are we discussing this, guys? Okay, because of our cholesterol level, Okay, cholesterol. Okay, like this. Okay, protein synthesis and cholesterol, total cholesterol. Wow, total cholesterol. Cholesterol, okay, like that. Cholesterol, 27 atoms of carbon and 46 atoms of hydrogen, and very strange, only one atom of oxygen. What happens to the oxygen there, Sir Sotero? It's already bonded with other carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms in a non-polar or polar covalent bonding. The equal and non-equal sharing of electrons. Okay, guys? Ganun siya. Okay, now cholesterol C27H46O. Now, the doctor said, based on the declaration of our medical report or medical certificate, that we should have a level of total cholesterol 200 milligrams per deciliter. Okay, now our lipoprotein, high density lipoprotein is the good cholesterol, is okay. So we have at least greater than milligrams per deciliter. Okay, greater. Okay, meaning it's beyond. It's okay if we have a high density lipoprotein, a good cholesterol. Now, our LDL must be less than always to 100. Less than always. Okay? Because as we said earlier, 40 milligrams deciliter to 100, which is the high density lipoprotein, which is the good lipoprotein. Okay, ganon. So, of course, LDL should be less than, not above 100. Okay, that is the bad cholesterol. Now, if you take about totality, total cholesterol must be also less than 200. Okay, again, review biochemistry or biochemical engineering. Okay, total cholesterol TC is equals to bad cholesterol BC plus good cholesterol GC plus 20% of the triglyceride TG. Compute for the bad cholesterol, which is the LDL, low density lipoprotein. And it will become total cholesterol minus good cholesterol, high density, okay, lipoprotein, okay, minus 20% of your triglycerides. Okay, and this is your LDL. So your LDL is what we mean by the cholesterol level deposit in your bloodstream, not the total cholesterol. Because the total cholesterol, it still involves the good cholesterol there, which is very, very important in the production of steroid hormones. And also the production of lipids and phospholipids, which act as a strong protective coating of our cell membrane. Ganon. Diba? And it can also improve the integrity of our reproductory hormones, which are the testosterone for men and estrogen for women. Something like that. And through that, we can develop a better chromosomes. Because as I told you earlier in my discussion, chromosomes is a thread-like structure composed of nucleic acids, again, see, and protein, diba? So it's gonna be like that, okay? That is for the total cholesterol. Take your triglyceride level also, okay? Triglyceride level must be below 150 milligrams per deciliter, okay? Triglycerides. Muna siya sa fat content din na siya, guys, ng triglycerides. Be careful. So, it will measure how fat your liver is if you have a greater value of triglycerides. Because the fat content will be measured in there, especially if you are drinking alcoholic beverages. So, the presence of the glycerols, that we got triglycerides, right? Due to the presence of glycerol, is a alcohol sugar, again, Blanc is an alcohol sugar in the liver, is known as the glycerol. Okay? The blanc is the sugar in the process of fermentation. Your answer will be maltose. Okay? Blanc is a sugar in the blood. Your answer will be glucose. Blanc is the sugar in the fruits. Your answer will be sucrose. Like that. Okay? Blanc is an isomer of the maltose. Your answer will be galactose. Isomer meaning the same formula but only differs in their orientation. Okay? Like that. Ribose is a sugar found in nucleic acid that contains 5 atoms of carbon. So be careful to familiarize the characteristics, physical and chemical characteristics of sugar so that you can easily determine what's going to be happening. I'm going to eat this refined sugar more like that, whatever, and it will react to your carbohydrates taken from your white rice every day, the alatun, and also to the fat content that you receive. If you eat too much chicken and a tape, it will going to be happening to my visceral fat or my abdominal fat if my bile acids are not functioning very well. And I thank you. Ganon. Okay. Going back to the protein synthesis. Grabe ka, Julie. Ganon talaga. Okay? Okay, guys. So, muna siya, guys, na we need to study hard in our college education, high school elementary education. So, we need to be attentive in classroom instruction. At the same time, we need to explore outside from the box, outside from classroom instruction. Ako kasi academic information Hindi ako masyado sa mga opinionated, rationally, yung mga yung sarili talaga na reasoning. Hindi ako masyado sa ganun. Anyhow, I can answer it in detailed. For example, AC type question, I can answer it in detail. But more ako sa mga, mga science technical information. Really. Okay? So, because there are also a lot of easy questions. Also, especially in the midterm and final exams, right? In your college education. So, sometimes the instructors will give easy questions also. If you can really understand the particular subject matter by your own interpretation. Ganon. How you understand it by your own understanding rather than depending in the books. Something like that. So that's the purpose and the main point why they'll be able to present as a question type in the examination. Okay, ganun siya. Okay, protein synthesis ulit. So lang tayo sa akin, yaw-yaw ko in fairness. Charot. Okay, gutom jud ko. Charot! Okay. Kasi kung buhato ni Imigalita. Okay. So, protein synthesis, guys, okay, necessary yun siya sa mga atong mga genetic information. The genes need protein through protein synthesis in the production of nucleic acid. Something like that. So, how important the protein really is, right? Okay, so, inom sa kong tubig. Kapikit yaw-yaw. Nahutan mo oxygen. Charot! Talaga. Polarity. High polar oxygen. Ganon. Oxygen discovered by Jules Presby. Ganon. Okay. Okay. Mga teknik na dyan itong timanan guys sa mga prefixes. We should investigate one by one, scrutinize, especially science really. Okay? Not so much in mathematics. All we have to do is to understand how the equations came out through practicing how it is being derived, something like you can have your own derivation by connecting a lot of simple formulas into one final formula, something like that. There are situations like that. Okay, I experienced that also when I was in college during examinations because the instructors sometimes will not teach you how to do it. Okay, they will just follow the normal way of discussion refers in the book, paragraph to paragraph. But sometimes they will give examination that are not being exampled in their examination, and that's the tricky part also. Okay, that's why I don't get too much higher scores for that. Especially, I'm not having a good grades or higher grades in unit operations. Average lang talaga. Okay. Oh, my gosh, what's happening to my microphone? Oh, okay. Okay, protein synthesis, guys, is a process. So we mean of synthesis process. Okay, process could either be physical or chemical process, something like, or a biochemical reaction, sorry, something. Synthesize meaning producing from smaller molecules to larger molecules combined together. So that is synthesizing, or the act of synthesizing. So the process is known as synthesis. Okay. Protein synthesis is a process. Ganon. Okay. It's a process of, again, English na naman tayo. Producing, okay, producing, creating, generating, okay, what else? Yielding, resulting, okay, a lot of terms to be used interchangeably. Okay, this is the purpose. Just understand, do not memorize the terms by terms in the book, because you can replace any equivalent terms for that when the question asks you to define or explain something like that. Okay, into protein molecule, okay, like that. So it's a process of producing, creating, generating, and resulting to protein molecules. Okay, molecules meaning breakdown of different substances from a larger blah blah. So this is like that. Molecules. Okay. Now, by. The word by, not by, meaning the one who performed that one is the cell. So by cells. Okay. So, ang intiman in your memorization will be the cells as your actor or player. Okay, memorize. So, you can easily understand what you're memorizing. So, the actor or player are the cells. Meaning, they are the one who function, okay, to produce these protein molecules. Okay, and there's a lot of action verbs here. Okay, it could be producing, creating, generating, yielding, resulting, like that. Of protein molecules, and that's what we call protein synthesis. Now, by cells, what kita naman? By cells using DNA, hala, RNA, hala, and enzymes. Okay, so this is the part in which being discussed usually in our biochemical engineering. Actually, in our biochemical engineering, in chemical engineering is only one of our subjects. But it doesn't go deeper into biology part, or in the health science part. That's why I take extra effort to read also that biochemistry part, so that I can build up more concepts to understand clearly, or not clearly, to understand more or a little bit in biochemical engineering. Because biochemical engineering will study in biology and chemistry at the same time simultaneously, but more on the application of the engineering processes, mathematics, something like that. Application na talaga siya in a larger scale, in which the biochemists are talking about the detailed fashion of the theories and concepts. Okay, theoreticals and principles. So, nasabi ang dila ni June. Wow. Okay, ganon. So, DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. What is the precursor? In English, what is a precursor? Precursor means it is a substance and element that triggers or to function, to produce this product, to break this product, or at least like that, precursor. It doesn't mean only to produce, but also to break. So that is precursor. Okay, what is the precursor of RNA? Ribonucleic acid. Okay, deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay, DNA. So DNA test is important, right? To determine the exact transcriptions of our chromosomes, right? Of a child, whether it is a male or female. I discussed that a while ago in my second segment, right? Okay, now the RNA is ribonucleic acid and the enzyme. Now, DNA or RNA are all nucleic acid. Okay, nucleic acids, and acids responsible in our hereditary traits or coded genetic information, which is the gene, something like that. Okay, that is the acids needed there. For example, if the examination diffusion will say blanc is an acid needed in our hereditary traits, or it's needed in the coded genetic information in our gene, our answer will be nucleic acid. Or you can answer specifically RNA and DNA. Ganon. If the question is fill in the blanks, there are no multiple choice. Okay, like that. Okay, enzymes. Enzymes code is any substance that will catalyze any biochemical reaction, could either be increasing the rate of the biochemical reactions or could either be reducing the rate of biochemical reaction. It's just only enzyme because we don't have inhibitor. Okay, unless we use the term catalyst, in which we have the inhibitor and the catalyst. Okay, in the physical processes in a plant, factories, but we are referring here bio in our life inside our body. Ganon. Okay, so muna siya. So we can revise this definition of protein synthesis. You can see that also is a process of producing nucleic acids and enzyme lang siya because RNA and DNA is just equal to nucleic acid. Okay, ganon siya ang protein synthesis. Okay. Now, before tayo makakuha ng protein synthesis, there are a lot of processes involved also. Okay, but we need to determine really what is nucleic acid and nucleotides, right? Ganon. Muna siya metabolic, guys. Okay. So, nucleotides. Kasi dito rin siya sa nucleotides. Uy, nakakaloka. Okay, nucleotides and nucleic acid. Okay, ganyan ka. Uy, because acid, nucleic acid is an acid, right? Nucleic acid. Oh, nucleotides. Ganon. Okay, nucleic acid. But take note. Okay, like this. Okay, nucleotides are precursors to produce nucleic acid. Okay, like that. But when you break the nucleic acid in the process of anabolism, right? Anabolism meaning, no, it's not anabolism, catabolism, the breaking down of larger molecules to lower molecules, it will never go in reverse to nucleotides, but nucleotides will go to nucleic acid. So basically, this is irreversible biochemical reaction or non-spontaneous. It will not go back to its original reactant or raw material in the process. You need to add external energy, you need to change the temperature, you need to change the pressure, or adding an enzyme to do that. In this case, when you have the nucleotides converted to nucleic acid, in which our protein synthesis already needed for our genes or genetic information. Carboxylic. Ikaw ka, no? Diba? Ang ganon. Okay. Ang nucleotides, guys, ano siya metabo? Okay. We see nucleotides, nila naman siya nucleobases. Okay? Nakakaluka. There are 21 amino acids, right? Based on my memorization. Okay. I think 11 of it are correct me if I'm wrong, because it was 20 years ago. 11 from it is wrong grammar, plural, right? Okay. Okay, 11 from it are, I think, the essential amino acids, and 10 from it are the non-essential. For example, leucine, isoleucine, guanine, ganon, mga ganon. Okay? Cytosine, ganon, a lot. Okay? You see that also in the ingredients of the multivitamins, food supplements, pharmaceutical products, medicines, syrups, capsules, tablets, all about pharmaceutical products and medicinal products, including supplemental food products also. Okay? You can see that amino acids it's really there, discussed or presented in the packaging. Okay, so 11 essential amino acids, meaning essential amino acids. 10 is amino acid lang siya, but non-essential. So acronym so that we can easily remember. But take note also, double check and verify also in other sources. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Disclaimer. I'm not really a biochemical engineer. Okay? I'm not a biochemical engineer. I am not a biologist. Okay? I am a chemical engineer. There's no bio part in my course. Remember, I can commit mistakes anytime, at every second, something like that. Okay? Because this is bio part in combination with chemistry or biology, something like that. Okay, the first thing to do is, guys, is determine we need to transcribe. The process of transcribing is known as transcription. And pharmacist students are very good to this. Transcription of the ingredients of the medicines. If you go to the pharmacy 24 hours, they are very, very smart for transcription of the ingredients of the particular medicines because they study that a lot. They have too much chemistry regarding this clinical chemistry, medicinal chemistry, and medical science chemistry, something like that, okay? Especially medicines. Mo yun ilang medicines nila or chemistry sa anatomy structure as sa physiology. Okay, and also the chemistry in the epidemiology. Okay, like that. So muna ang mga centers sa pharmacy and also the medical technology. If they will shift to chemical engineering, they can also really adapt because we have chemical engineering have a lot of chemistry also in first year, second year, until third year. Okay, right? General chemistry lecture 1 and 2, ganon. Organic chemistry 1 and 2, ganon. Quantitative chemistry, qualitative chemistry, like that. Okay? And we have also physical chemistry. And also the thermochemistry. Actually, thermodynamics is under thermochemistry. Okay? So, the general term is the thermochemistry and the specific is thermodynamics. Okay. Of course, we use the descriptive subject titled as thermodynamics is only an example for thermochemistry. The chemistry of heat, okay, and temperature changes. That's thermochemistry. Okay, like that. Clinical chemistry, the blood, the urine, ganon, sampling in the, medical examination. Okay, ganon. So, mubalik ka sa, protein synthesis. Okay. Ganon. So, if, for example, sa rasa ko, kabihan ko, gutom na siya sa gawin. Hala, I have still 10 minutes more. Charot. Okay, guys. Ganun siya. The first thing is, a lot of processes. First is transcription. Okay. Transcription. Meaning protein synthesis, a lot of processes will be involved there. Okay, transcription. Okay, number 2 is translation. Okay, translation. Number 3 is amino acid synthesis. Okay, as I told you a while ago, over and over again. Okay, amino acid. Okay. That's why our urine contains ammonia because of this amino acid. Nitrogen and hydrogen. When we go to the urine, it smells like that because of the presence of ammonia due to the amino acids. Okay? That will break down into a lot of byproduct proteins. Could either be creatinine, like that, or purine, or bilirubin that will be released in our urine. But though it is only less, because if it is very high, then it will leak to your urine and your bloodstream, then your liver will be damaged. The identification really, guys, is high bilirubin and high creatinine. Be careful. So avoid eating junk foods, fatty foods, and high levels of salty foods also, and also oily foods. Okay, it will trigger your bilirubin and creatinine and purine and uric acid to go high above the normal range. Okay, now amino acid synthesis, and then we have also the post and the after. If you have the definition, you have the after because post is after, not pre is before. Again, English. Okay, prefix put prior to a word or a term. So it is a post. We have also post-paid, meaning after, right? Prepaid, before paid, something like that. Okay, our mobile phone. That's the definition of pre and post. Okay, so post. Okay, nakakaloka. Translational events. Meaning, events. What are the other terms of events? Events, situations, circumstances, activities, tasks, processes, operations. These are all events. Okay? Meaning to say synonymous terms with each other. It depends on the sentence you will use them. Okay? Would it be more appropriate or not? But at least it is be considered the general impact or understood to be the same. Okay? It's just only matter of how you put that in a paragraph or how you put that in that sentence, something like that. Okay. Post-translation events. Okay. Transcription. Kasi na oras na, uy, nagyawin yung diri. I'm already 35 minutes. Transcription, guys, what is this? Charot. Kani siya kupat, guys, process din siya. Processes, but biochemical processes. Because it is inside our body. Okay? So, processes. Okay. That's why we can see, guys, that this protein, nucleic acid, carbohydrates, lipids, right? These are all called biopolymer, biochemical, biopermi, okay, biomolecule. These three terms will be used interchangeably in the books. Sometimes they will change this biochemical protein like this, biomolecule like this, biopolymer like this. So these three the same. And then this composed of monomers. Okay? And these monomers banded together to become a polymer. And this polymer is now what we call as the biopolymer, the biochemical, and the biomolecular, or the biomolecule. These are all biochemical substances. The combination of biology and chemistry. Okay, or the combination of biological and chemical. That's biological or biochemical. Okay, ganon. So, muna na siya. So, monomers din siya ang small units. Now, question in the future. Blank is the smaller units of a polymer. There's no choices. Blank is the smaller units banded together to produce a polymer. Your answer will be monomer. Okay? Like that. Be careful in the theory examination also. In the board examination. Okay, ganon. So we have the transcription. Okay? Transcription is a process. Okay? Process by which, okay, uses the mRNA. Okay? Grabe na siya. Because, diba, it's very strange to use this term. Template daw. But template usually used in the, in the reporting, you make a slide presentation in your training, right? Template. But in here also, we use the word template. RNA template. Wow, bongga. Okay. So, like that. Template term in a science point of view, okay, or in a biochemistry point of view, okay, like that. So process by which uses the mRNA template that is transcribed, wow, from DNA. Transcribe. The important term is transcribe, action verb. What is the definition of transcribe in English? If you have a dictionary, so that you can understand really what's really about transcription. So the root word of transcription is transcribe. So bingo, makakuha na ka. You can have your own definition. And then, mo na namin yung isumpot ka ng RNA, ganon. Okay, so process by which the uses of mRNA template transcribe from DNA. Meaning the source is the DNA before you can do the transcribing process from the DNA. So our DNA is the source, originator, raw material, input, like that, or our storage, meaning we get that there. That's why from, okay, like that. So DNA. So from DNA ang transcription. Okay. Now, atong ang mRNA template atong gikuha. So may mRNA sa Sotero, nakakaloka. Okay, di ba? So M stands for messenger. Okay, usually the RNA is a messenger nucleic acid, guys, that contains 5 carbon atom sugar, the pentoses. Wow. Nakakaloka. Or the ribose sugar. The ribose sugar is a sugar found in ribonucleic acid in our genetic information, in our gene. So meaning to say, if we don't have this ribose, we cannot think properly because information kasi genetic information. We cannot think properly, we cannot do planning, we cannot dance, we cannot sing because how can we do that if there's no genetic information? Okay? So meaning to say, ribose sugars are responsible for that. Okay, so it should be also in a normal range because if too much again, hyperglycemia will come in and at least you should have appropriate level of ribose sugars in your RNA because it will be used in the transcription process. Okay, like that to have your protein synthesis. Okay, ganun. Okay, now this produce sabdo mo ha. Okay, in this transcription, ano sa mga produce niya? Okay, ang kaninyang RNA template, right? This mRNA template, the messenger supposed will become now mature. Okay, mature RNA, okay, undergo naman siyang process na stabilize siya in step 2, which is the translation. Okay. Guys, in translation, importante kayo siya. Wait, I will tell you something. This mature RNA, okay, templates again, but mature already, okay, like that, used in succeeding steps. Okay? Steps. Okay, used in succeeding steps. In linking and combining this amino acid. I told you, in the general formula, there's an amino acids, right? So in the succeeding step, in linking and combining amino acid, okay, NH2, which is NH2 guys, amino group, something like that, okay, amino acids in a particular order, particular order, based on coded genetic information. Okay? Coded siya. Meaning to say, dili siya magbaylo-baylo. Paired yun siya. Okay? Paired yun siya. Dili siya magbaylo-baylo. Dili siya padung dito, padung dito siya. Orientation niya is very, very precise, specific, and accurate. The orientation. Later I will show you that. Okay? In a particular order based on the code genetic information. Okay, ganon. Muna ang translation, like that. Okay. Then it will produce newly protein products. Diba? Disynthesize mo, produce na siya another protein. Okay? Muna yung purpose sa protein synthesis. The products will be a lot of protein synthesized good. Okay, combine good na nimo siya. You produce a lot of proteins, right? So, the newly protein produced or formed. In the translation. Okay. Step number 3. The amino acids, again, synthesized. Will link together. Okay, to produce newly protein-formed SAD. So, ang products of 2 and 3, okay, will be combined to be used in number 4. You get the point? Diba? Amino acid synthesis linked all the amino acids also to produce a newly formed acids in which dili siya mabuhat sa 2 sa translation. There are 2 steps man to produce newly formed protein. It could either be by translation and amino acid synthesis like that. And both the products of step 2 and 3 will go to the number 4 which is the post-translation events. Yung sa many siya. Okay, papasa na ko ha. Okay. Oh, nakita niyo ang board in fairness. Ganon. Kamera din akong blackboard guys. Uy, I need to have a very white blackboard. Ganon. Okay. Ganon siya guys. Okay. Now, nakaloka. Okay. We go to the post-translational events. Okay. In the succeeding steps or in the final process, the newly produced formed protein will be used in the processing of, again, balik na po siya sa sa protein synthesis. Okay, cycle siya. Okay, and then sa translation. Okay, the post-translational modification and the protein folding. So, Sotero, saan ang protein folding? Okay? Ganon. Di ba ganon? Explain naman ako ang protein synthesis. And explain also the post-translational modification. Ganon. I did not explain it the protein folding. So, himay-may, what is folding? In English, action verb, the act of folding, right? So the protein was being folded one over the other to produce again another protein that will be used in our nucleic acid synthesis na siya. Okay? Because in our nucleic acid synthesis, guys, proteins are in there also. Okay? Together with the phosphate groups and the amino groups, of course. Okay, ganun siya. So this will be our, wala na akong gipan, minawang hamo. So that's the definition of our post-translational modification events. Ganon. 4 processes sa protein synthesis. Okay, mabalik-balik na siya, guys. Okay, ganon. So tomorrow, and not really tomorrow, I will show you the reaction of this amino acid. Okay? How they behave inside our body. Something like that. Okay? So atong timanan, what are the particular food that we're going to eat? Something like that. For example, if I will drink tea, what will happen to my hormones inside my liver? Ganon. Will increase the minerals inside my liver, like that. Okay? So we need zinc, right? We need zinc to boost our reproductive system. Nakaloka. Apoy pa na siya. And to lose weight. So meaning, if you have a higher level of zinc, you will easily get lost fat. Okay, by drinking tea, any kind of tea without sugar. Okay, tea without sugar really is the best. Coffee without sugar really is the best. Because if you fortify sugar, you added already the ribose sugar, like that, blah blah blah, so and so, sucrose, so no good. So the function, the nutritional function of this tea and coffee will be reduced. The health benefits if you put sugar, right? That's very clear. Okay, so tea, it could be red tea, black tea. I think that's so much with yellow tea. Okay, black tea, green tea triggers loss weight and good digestion process, something like that. Just drink that every night, 2 hours before sleeping. It can, it can triggers or facilitate good digestion process, okay, and then lose weight, increase the level amount of your zinc, something like that. So if you increase the level of your zinc, too much research, okay, it will whiten your skin, okay, like that. I'm not telling you that if I will drink tea, you will become white. It depends also the situation in your, in your immune system, how it will be adaptive to your system. Okay, there's also situation like that. It depends also the individual susceptibility of the person, or shall we say the human resistance, something like that. Okay, how your immune system cope up to that following or to that different substances, biological or chemical sensitivity take in. Okay, like that, or the minerals and vitamins that we take in. It depends on you also. It depends on the human susceptibility. SUSCEPT ability, meaning adaptability and immunity of your body, how it adapts. Okay, because these substances may be good to other, and this also not good to you. Because there are factors that will affect the nutritional facts. Because you don't have the same system. You don't have the same immune system, and you don't have the same also biochemical reaction inside your body. This is just only a general theory applicable to everybody, but doesn't mean physically happen to you also, because we have different immune systems, something like that, not the same. Okay, though we have the same anatomy, structure of everybody and physiology, but it matters also to the consumption, the leveling, the dosage, like that. Okay, so it matters a lot, right? How frequent you drink tea in a day. Maybe you are drinking 7 times in a day, so that's not also good. Based on my research, you will only drink 5 times in a day, okay, or less. Tea and coffee. Best coffee 3 times a day, not more than 3 times a day. But pagbigyan pa daw siya until 5. But be sure, only 3 times. But take note, without sugar. Always, or less sugar. And then use the brown sugar, Okay, the raw sugar, not the refined, the brown sugar. Okay, put a little bit of that. Let's say 1/8 or 1/4 teaspoon of brown sugar. Then put that in a mat of very hot water blended with the tea or coffee mixture. Ganon. Okay. Magkaasa naman tayo abot ato sa protein synthesis, di ba? Okay, ganon. So, DNA, RNA ka, guys. Guys, kung yung pinitag DNA, guys, ha? Alam mo, pag sinigipin ang DNA. Kailang, you should understand that this DNA is a nucleic acid. It's acid, guys. Okay? Dili siya protein. Okay? Dili siya carbohydrates. It's nucleic acid composed of nucleotides. Okay, now I explain to you what is a nucleotide because this is the component of DNA and RNA. Ganon. So basically, I am discussing now transcription and translation here. Okay, now I need to draw the actual photo or the appearance of this RNA. Okay. RNA, guys, muna siya. Ang may tago. 1, 2, 3. Ganon. Muna siya tinai sa manok. Okay, ganon. Muna siya yun. Helix ang tawag ka ninyo, guys, ha? Helix. O, helix. Ganon. Muna bitin. Okay, ganon siya. Imutiman that there are only 3 curves. Okay, 1 curve, 2 curve, 3 curve. Your identification so that you can easily symbolize or sketch what is really apparently a RNA in your mind. Or, for example, if you're just doing that in your brain cells without discussion. Okay? Like that. You can picture out that. You imagine something like that. Because as I told you over and over again, to become a scientist and engineer, you should have a wild imagination, okay, and critical thinking, something like that. Okay, now it's gonna be like that. Now this is RNA. Okay, RNA has the nucleobases. Charot. Nucleobases. Muna siya. Ang sabi mga nucleobases, ano niya? Ang mga amino acid. So, told you well ago, nucleic acid has an amino acid, amino group. So, ano siya? Kutikin niya, guys, in the laboratory, especially if you're taking up medical technology and doctor in medicine. Okay, because there's a lot of colors, chuba, for this amino acid, and you need to arrange this properly in particular order so that we can produce a specific nucleic acid. Hanggang gano'n siya, chuba talaga siya. Okay, ganon. Now, ang importante ang igayin na, you need to understand the acronym of this nucleobase. Padali-dali mo i-memorize. Okay, ganon. So, ang clue na ko sa una namin, I was in college, is ano siya? C, G, ganon siya. Nakalo ka. C, G, U. Okay? C, G, A, U. Meaning, C, G, A, U. And I will do that as a siga. Sa Bisaya, ang siga is a light. A flame or a light. So that maka-memorize din ko what is the nucleobasis of an RNA when I was in college. Siga U. Diba? Siga U. So I can understand. So for example, if examination, you say, what are the nucleobases of an RNA? Enumerate. Then I can answer perfectly the 4 amino acids because I memorize the 2 acronyms and I can understand properly because I use HINT, H-I-N-T, and clue, C-L-U-E, as an acronym to detect immediately what I memorized. Sa SIGA-U, ganon. So muna siya ang RNA nucleobases. And then, ang atong DNA po, sa kilid, later na sa DNA. Ganon. So, ano na sa RNA. So, C stands for cytosine. Okay, cytosine amino acid. G stands for guanine. Okay, guanine amino acid. All are amino acids, I told you. Okay, it is the amino acids will be synthesized in step number 3, right? In the protein synthesis to produce nucleic acid, something like that. And we have adenine. Okay? Like that. Okay? Like that. And U is the uracil. Okay? These four are amino acids banded together as a nucleic basis of our RNA. Okay? Like that. And then the nucleic basis of the RNA and the nucleic basis of our DNA is called nucleotide. You get the point? Something like that. And now, if we have this RNA, so klaro kayo siya guys, na RNA is a single helix phosphate sugar group. Helix ang tawagan niya guys. 1, 2, 3. Helix ang tawagan niya. Okay, kani siya na shape. Helix shape of phosphate sugar group. Something like that. Single regid siya guys ang RNA. Okay, muna, imo siya i-transcribe sa step number 1. Transcription, i-arrange mo properly. How can you arrange the systematically? By adding another one helix phosphate group, phosphate sugar group. So, imo siyang i-add. Muna ni may tabo niya. Di ba, tinahin na niya siya. Okay, ganon. So, ganon siya. Ganon. Okay, so now, can you know nucleic basis, guys? Okay, so we have to pair that one. How can you arrange if you don't pair? Normally, you have to pair that one. Okay, so our pairing will be in the nucleic basis. The cytosine, guanine, and adenine, and uracil. In the DNA also, we need to pair that one. That's why it's called translation after transcription, right? Ganon. Now, na-share mga tumi-tumi din mga, let's say, tulo ka buok mo na siya yung mga nucleic bases na nag-represent ni cytosine, guanine, adenine, and uracil. Ganon. So, colors na ta, colors. Ang cytosine, represented as C, ang color niya, for example, okay, ako na lang dyan memorize ang color. Actually, it's not relevant, any color you will represent. But we don't know really in studying of doctor in medicine or medical technology or pharmacy, maybe that is also the specific color for the cytosine. We don't know really because I'm not, disclaimer, I'm not a medical professional. Okay? I get this only through research and reading a lot, different references, okay, and then combining my knowledge being a chemical engineer. Something like that. C is equals to cytosine. So this is green. Oh no, sorry, blue. So blue ni siya ha. Now, kung blue siya, blue sa nang react niya sa DNA. Okay? Ganon. So we have the guanine. Okay? Okay, the guanine. Okay, G, di ba? Kung ano siya guys? Green. Ang guanine, green. And then, ang adenine is yellow. Adenine. And then, ang orange, uracil. Muna siya sa RNA. Kani siya mga, nano siya dito sa core. Tulo ka bukok. Blue, red, blue, green, yellow, and orange. Ang orange, kaya mutago siya dito sa kinaubsan. Muna ang fury niya. Ang orange, mutago siya dito sa ilalong. Hindi siya mo-activate. Ang tulong na dyan, ang 3 of them will activate. Something like that. And then the other core also, ganun din siya. Okay, tulo ka buok. Okay, ang mutago niya kung ang uracil, mutago sa atom niyan, sa corner-corner, ganun siya. Maging uwawan kayo si uracil. Ganon. So, katulong na core, we have nucleic basis guanine, cytosine, guanine, and then mutago niya kung siya si uracil. Ganon. Now, abot rin sa DNA, na nasa tayo DNA, nucleic bases. Okay, DNA. Ang kanyang DNA nucleic bases mo, react siya sa RNA nucleic bases to produce a one single genetic information that is needed for our genes as a human being, so that we can think, we can talk, okay, we can work, okay, we can receive information and we can understand, we can convey, like that, we can memorize, okay, we can remember everything about information, coded genetic information. Responsible for that is the nucleic acid inside our body, okay, through DNA and RNA, through the process of protein synthesis. Okay, so how important is that really if we need to understand, okay, like that. So now, it will react to another RNA, it will become a DNA. RNA. So kung imo siya strict mo, if we strict RNA plus RNA is equal to the DNA, but the nucleic basis is not different. Okay? Like that, and it's always reacting with each other. So natin ni Pandre ni combine man na basta ni kuan siya ba. So tulosan siya diri. Tulosan sa corpse. So hindi mo na siyang complete na tinai or intestine mo na siya ang DNA. So DNA nucleic basis. Okay? Paliwala na siya guys. Cytosine, paliwala gapon siya blue, mo react. Okay, guanine, green mo react. Adenine, yellow mo react. So, react na siya dili ay nag-abot na niya mga nucleic bases here with the same color here. Right? Itagog gapon ang iyang uracil. But dili guys, ang itagog dili ang thymine na siya. The only difference is the thymine amino acid in the DNA nucleic bases. Okay, so mo react ang uracil and thymine. Arranged properly, not necessarily the same amino acid. Unlike the others, cytosine, guanine, adenine. Okay? Mo rin siya ang difference kasi uracil may ang RNA. So din na, na siya guys? Siga-T. In ka-memorize mo dayo, siga-T dayo. Oh, ang raman na, sigayo raman na siga-T. Dali na kayo masabton. Right? So, cytosine, guanine, adenine, and thymine. Ang uracil is done. Ganon. Now, you need to label the parts now so that we can understand. So, we said nucleic basis is yung mga ganon, chupa-chucho, sigayo, siga-T. And these are nucleic basis pair. Ino mo siya i-combine. Ang di-pair mo siya, of course, common sense. Okay, nucleic basis pair. So, imo mo siya butang ang ganon, nucleic basis pair. Imong labelan, nucleobasis pairs. Okay? Ganon, wala siya, nucleic basis pair. Ang kami siyang kurba-kurba, this is the helix. The helix, okay, phosphate sugar group. Phosphate sugar group. Okay, gano'n, like that. So, muna siya ang paglagay mo. Okay? Muna siya may tago. And then, nucleic basis pair na siya. Pag combine na niya, muna nagitawag mo o nucleic acid. The product na. Okay, nucleic acid. Coming from the nucleic bases, DNA RNA, which is coming from the nucleotides. So, as I said a while ago, nucleotides, as the raw material of RNA and DNA, okay, will produce nucleic acid. Okay? In which true with this drawing. When they combine, it will become a nucleic acid, which is now become RNA and DNA. Because in my discussion a while ago, I said in the first place, RNA and DNA are nucleic acids. Meaning to say, these are products, alright, after the four processes, which are transcription, translation, okay, amino acid synthesis, and the post-translational events. Ganon. So these are about protein synthesis and DNA, RNA, and nucleic acid. Any questions so far? Normally, the questions sometimes hindi man yan nakalisod ng board exam. Kasi ang ipunta na which of the following is an essential amino acid? A, guanine, adenine, cytosine, and you have to identify. Okay? Multiple choice. It's not that difficult. I think, ang akong i-discuss karon mas difficult pa siya sa question sa board exam. Kung theory ha, dili kayo sa theory sa chemical engineering. Based on my part. I don't know with others also. Okay, based on my confession, the theory and concepts of chemical engineering board examination are not difficult. I found difficult in the calculations or in the problem solving. Okay? Like that. Okay? So if you build 70% like this, theories, concepts, principles, like that, the background of pure sciences and mathematics, then you will pass 30% only problem solving. You will pass in all areas, ha? Okay, because there's a lot of theories also, be careful. And there's also problems that related to theory. For example, wala na siya, for example, in expression of concentrations and physical and chemical principles, wala na siya. If there is two solution, normality 1, normality 2, and then there's a volume 2, what is the volume 2? Like that, the volume in the final. This is very easy, right? Though it's a mathematical situation, you have to compute, but it's very easy, related to theory. It's also included in the theory part, in what I mean. Because there's also direct solution. For example, momentum. Okay, right? You remember in physics, you have elastic momentum, and you have also elastic momentum. And we should also take note what is being conserved there. Could either be the kinetic energy or the momentum. Okay, in inelastic and elastic. So what is elastic momentum? What is inelastic momentum? Diba? You should remember that in the principle of billiard. Okay, billiard. May bulay mo na siyang push, billiard and pole, like that. The principle of momentum will be used there in physics. Okay, the law of the conservation of the momentum. Okay, the mass times the velocity. So you need to distinguish, this is inelastic momentum, this is elastic momentum. Then troubleshoot what is being held constant in that particular theory. So that you can understand, when there is an elastic momentum, the ball will not move a little bit, and the other also will not move, and the two of them will move, then this is elastic collision. Then ganon. Because the collision theory also will be applied in the heavenly bodies, in the universe. Before we have the 9 planets, came from the Big Bang theory, billion years ago. There's also an inelastic collision theory principle. Okay? Big Bang theory. Before the planets, the heavenly bodies, the galaxy, the stars, the comets, the asteroids, like that appear in our outer space. So, it's gonna be like that. There's also a momentum there. Okay? Long time ago. I cannot explain further. I just read that in the theory. Okay, something like that. It's Big Bang theory. Okay? Like that. So, that is about Earth science, or what do you call this one? I think it's gonna be astronomy. Okay, the branch of science that deals with the study of the universe, outer space, and heavenly bodies. It's gonna be like, that's what I understand. That's what I remember. Astronomy. Okay, because the study of, what do you call this one? Zodiac sign, Pisces, Gemini, Scorpio, is the branch of methodological meaning myth, MYTH, not necessarily fact. The study of Pisces, Gemini, Scorpions, Cancer, sa mga months, kung man na siya, astrology. Okay, that is the branch of science, methodology science in MYTH, meaning not necessarily true, MYTH. Okay, that involves Cancer, Pisces, Libra, Scorpio. Ang study ana is astrology. And then, ang astronomy is the study really of the universe. Something like mga planets, bodies, shores, and chuba-chuchuk there. Okay, naggamit kayo sila Johannes Kepler, okay, Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein. Okay, mga siya. Okay, guys, tapos na sa kuan na photosynthesis. Any questions so far in this topic? Any question, then you can comment down below in the comment section if you like on question. Naloko ako. Diba? You can comment down in the comment section, and then you can subscribe to my YouTube channel if you love science and a little bit of math and occupational safety and health. Then this is the proper venue for you to listen about also, if you want and if you like, of course. Okay, and then you can click the notification bell for some newest updates of I'm a Singer. But please forgive me a bit of animation, creativity in my screen, because I'm not an IT professional, nor I'm not also a computer technician or computer technology graduate or computer science. I have less knowledge in computers. Okay, like that, because I'm not graduating in the later 2010, ganon. It's rich in the AutoCAD design na part sa ilang subject. Before we don't have AutoCAD system. Okay, AutoCAD. Computer aided design, right? CAD. like that. Before, we only do the manual, okay, not the CAD, the CAD. Okay, but now the students in college are doing already the CAD, very high tech, something like that. In our time, not like that. Only we're bringing only the T square like that, carry at the back, and we need to draw manually in our engineering ES 101 engineering drawing. So all engineering guys have the subjects drawings. I think it's gonna be 2 semesters for drawing only. Now, their engineering drawings are employing the CAD, okay? Computer aided design or automatic computer aided design, CAD system. But before we don't have that. That's why, okay? And I'm not also interested to download any software like that for my live streaming that I can edit what comes on my mouth, and I have to put sound effects in my screen. For me, I don't have time. I only focus and concentrate for the content. I am content wise, not on the special effects, on the eyes, how it looks beautiful, like that. Yung mga ano ba, mga decorative or decoration, visualization, impact. I'm not more on that. I'm focusing on the content, the substance of the subject and topic. That's why it is boring. Okay, honestly, I have to accept that, right? It is boring because more on talking, but if you try to listen carefully also, then you can learn a lot. Okay, something like that. You get the point? Ganun. Muna ang area na kung ako, I don't have creativity in my live streaming, vlogs, because of that reason. Okay? You get the point? Payaw-yawa lang about anything about academic information, yun I can manage. Di jud ko kamao kayo sa mga creativity, animations, special effects, sound effects, mga captions, chupa-chupa, appearances. Ganon. Splicing the other videos and put that in your video. Ganon. I don't have that. Plainly talking, communicating directly the substance of the topic without any chupa-chupa. Ganon na lang siya. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Until my next vlogging and live streaming. Maybe I don't have to vlog tomorrow. Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye. God bless everybody. See you later. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day and stay safe. Oh my gosh. Ganon. Kaloka.